I'm Friedhelm Marx, Chair for German Literature at the University of Bamberg. Thomas Mann being one of my main research areas, I'm looking forward to my fellowship at the Thomas Mann House in Los Angeles this fall, provided that it's possible to enter the United States by then. Nikolai Blaumer asked me to present some thoughts on Mann's novella Mario and the Magician, which is read online these days. What a great choice to pick this short story, as it is one of my personal favorites, and one that seems very current these days. In my statement, I will focus on the uncanny aspects of this short story that have a more or less hidden political meaning. Thomas Mann is generally appreciated for his realistic, traditional style. Therefore, it might seem surprising that a lot of his writing is coined by uncanny, eerie phenomena in the twilight zone of magic, occultism, spiritism, and, no pun intended, paranormal activities. Most prominent, a spiritistic session in the Magic Mountain, inspired by Mann's own personal attendance at similar sessions of the parapsychologic researcher Albert Freiherr von Schrenck-Notzing in 1922-23. In the late 1920s, Mann's interest in this sphere gets a new turn due to major political changes. Living in Munich, a center of the Nazi movement, since Hitler's first attempt to gain power in 1923, Mann very closely observes a shift towards irrational, anti-intellectual politics, the search for strong leadership, and the willingness to give up democratic liberty. Not only in Germany, there seems to be a momentum for political magicians and for magical leadership. This being the broader political background, Mann picks up a personal encounter with a magician during his summer vacation in Italy in 1926. This can be considered as a starting point for Mario and the Magician. However, the story is not to be read as a strict autobiographical memoir. Cipolla, the magician of the story, seems to incorporate the evil from the very beginning. He's a very scary, uncanny figure in more than one respect. There's a certain strangeness to his whole appearance, to the extent that even the narrator is reminded of, quote, the historic charlatan type with his blatantly, fantastically foppish air. Well, the name Cipolla, Italian for onion, remains the reader of other uncanny magicians appearing in literature. For example, Coppelius or Coppola in Hoffmann's short story Der Sandmann, the Sandman, a very eerie person. In his attempts to hypnotize the audience, Cipolla occurs to be, on the other hand, a brother of Dr. Caligari, the famous movie hypnotic in Robert Wiener's Das Kabinett des Dr. Caligari. Both men of power, dark, dangerous scientists and criminal artists at the same time. The magician incorporates a new political movement that willingly sets apart the right of free decision. The novella points out that during Cipolla's appearance, during his performance, not only the subjects on stage, but the whole audience is giving up personal will. Even the narrator, who desperately tries to gain distance. To put it in a Freudian way, there must be something very familiar, very frightening in the performance of this magician. Very tempting as well. At the end, only Mario succeeds in resisting, well, by no other means than by killing the magician. The very fact that the majority of the audience is willing to follow the orders given by their leader on stage is not very promising in political terms. Therefore, the novella can be read as a subtle warning in times of shaky democracies.